All right, well, hello there. Welcome back to channel Veracity. How you doing today? Let me know in the comments down below. But I want to go over and I want to talk about, I don't know if you can read this here, but I'm going to be talking about the true self or your true self, or are we being true to ourselves? That's essentially what I wanted to talk about. And there's a few points that I've looked over and a few points that I thought about that I think are very good to get close to or get on track with our true selves, because sometimes we wonder this, sometimes we question this, and so I think this will be a good helpful video. I don't think so this will be too long of a video. It could be 10 minutes, 15, I'm not sure, but hopefully I'll try to make it short and sweet. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, Veracity Trigger, please hit the subscribe down below. I think it should be it's over here. Hit the subscribe down below, smash the like button, do all that kind of stuff. But all right, let's talk about it here. So there's a few key points that I want to go over here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key points, and then just a little message at the end I kind of wanted to say. So this is a part of my helpful videos that I'm doing throughout the week. So this will pertain to you if you're a gamer or if you're just somebody that needs help in some way as far as like trying to understand some things. And so I'm just gonna give you my perspective. I'd love to hear your perspective as well. Some conversation about it would be quite good. But here we go. So number 1 would be frustration. Be honest, have a healthy vent. Number 2 is backpedaling or thinking old thoughts. Number 3 is individual discernment. And number 4 would be don't be afraid to look abrasive. And number 5 is let outcomes go. Focus on the present. So number 1, going over number 1 here, frustration, be honest, have a healthy vent. So you're going to have thoughts, and this comes into the whole true self thing, because you're going to be thinking about something that maybe you want to do. Maybe you're feeling a little frustrated because you're not able to do something. You sort of have this feeling inside like, hey, I really want to do some landscaping. Let's say you want to do it as a part-time thing, you want to do a full-time thing, maybe whichever one that is. Now this is just an idea, this is just a thought in your head, and let's say you're working at some kind of store, fast food, could be a clothing store, whatever, and you don't want to do it, but you want to do some landscaping, right? But you also have to fulfill your monetary needs as well, correct? Okay. Well, a part of this frustration here is that you've been thinking about wanting to do something else. Now, this could be anything else too. This doesn't have to be a job in particular. Let's say you have a frustration with not waking up on time all the time, something like that. But let's just go into the analogy that, you want to do some landscaping, right? You want to get out there, get your hands dirty, put your fingers in the dirt, play with the worms. I don't know. You want to do something, different. You're going to have a frustration inside. It's going to kind of build up over a while. And you're not all the time. Sometimes you already know exactly what it is you'd like to try to do, or you've been dabbling with this idea for a while. But it's good to have a healthy vent, and I don't mean this like you hear people say they're going to vent. It could be something really big, but a healthy vent would be something where you're actually talking to a friend. Now, a good friend. So if you talk to a good friend about some things in your life, you feel a little frustrated because I'm always inside. I never get to like go outside and to like play like I used to when I was a kid with all the construction toys, or plant this stuff over here, do something like that. Maybe your friend will kind of spark the idea, hey, maybe you want to do something else, and it'll get the gears running, get the ideas flowing inside your head to maybe go forward with, it'll help you gain ideas towards possibility of that landscaping thing or that other idea that you were thinking about. This will give you a sort of a kickstart. It's sort of like, lighting the match in a sense. Sometimes you have to let out that frustration, and that will help you see where your path might go to as far as like where you kind of really truly want to go. So sometimes frustration can be a good thing, not, and that's the reason I'm saying have a healthy vent, because if you bottle up that frustration, there could have been something in there that would have helped you move forward in life, and you didn't know about it because you bottled it up. So that's number one. Number two is backpedaling. And this is thinking old thoughts. So, number two with the backpedaling and all that, if you're thinking a lot of old thoughts, you're like on a bike. This is what I'm saying by backpedaling. You're on a bike. You're thinking these old thoughts, and you're not able to push the bike up the hill or, further down the train. You're just kind of like backpedaling. You're just kind of sort of coasting. You're actually slowly stopping is what you're doing. And that's the same thing that happens in your mind when you backpedal thoughts. You're like thinking of the past, and you're like, well, this happened because of that happened, this situation, this person, and that thing, and this thing. Life is always new with new situations all the time. So backpedaling will just pull you back from being able to push forward with your ideas. So thinking about the past too heavily. Now, yes, if something happened and, let's say you drove to this location and it's too hot for you because of the climate or whatever, or it's too cold for you or something like that, and that's geographically the way it usually is, that'll probably be that way. But if it's something like, this person, that person, he said, she said kind of thing, and it's all in your head, or, this situation ended up happening that way because of this group or this company or whatever, you have to push forward. You can't sit there in your head and replay everything all the time, every time you think there could be something bad going with it. That's what I'm saying about backpedaling. Number three, individual discernment. Take the good, leave what does not help. So that kind of works a little bit with backpedaling or thinking old thoughts is, your own individual discernment. Now, what may work for you may not work for me or them or, somebody. So you have to take your own discernment as to what's going to work for you. Now, if you're in a climate or an environment with other people that are having a lot of fun or joking around or saying this or saying that, but you're more of a serious kind of person and you kind of need to be serious, then it's not that those people are, now I can't, judge the situation for everybody, but it's not to say that those people are just always goofballs. It's just something that they're more into. You might be more of a reserved kind of person. Now, let's say you're more of a joking kind of person, and then you go into an environment where everybody's, all stiff-necked and, you think they're like popsicle sticks, essentially. You might not like that environment, So as far as like what you're thinking, as far as like where you'd want to go with something, it's down to your individual discernment. Now, there's other scenarios with that too. But just let that be sort of an example there. Now, number four is probably going to rub some people the wrong way. Probably, maybe, hopefully not. But don't be afraid to look abrasive, because the fact is, if you're all, and this is what we do all the time. We're always trying to dress nice. We're always trying to, make sure everything looks great and all that, so we're presentable. So, other people are like, hey, they take care of themselves. And that's a good thing. But when it comes to looking abrasive, it basically means don't be afraid to say the things that you'd like to say. Now, with a certain amount of, politeness, I think there should be in there, like certain, I would think there's certain words that you probably don't want to say, unless you're in a situation, this person very well, and, blah, 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 you can go on with that, but don't be afraid to look abrasive, because if you decide that you're only going to try to come off this particular way, what you end up doing is you're framing, like, you are this, think of yourself as this cloud of energy as far as your thoughts go, right? You're just a giant cloud in the sky, right? But if you put a frame around that cloud, they're only seeing a square. They're not seeing the whole cloud. you know? And so when you're interacting with another person, you know, they're not able to see the whole you because you've framed yourself within that cloud. So they think that you are that frame. Once you break the frame, they're like, holy, well, I didn't know all this stuff existed, you know? Then you're kind of surprising the other person. But as far as like your ideas go, this also applies as well, because if you try to frame your idea too hardcore, then the other opportunities that could be with outside of the frame of the idea might not manifest, because you know you kind of put yourself inside of a square, you know. So that's the thing for the abrasive. Then that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or no, sorry, the fifth thing here, let outcomes go, focus on the present. So that also kind of applies with the don't be afraid to look abrasive. Now, you know, try to be tactful at least, you know, but let outcomes go, focus on the present is important, because you can't see everything in the future all the way. There were some older stories, you know, in the Bible and such. The old man stores up his grain for his whole life, and he's like, good, I'm done. I don't have to do anything more. I can live forever, and I'd never have to work. And then he died the next day. You know, that's just the whole point. Like, situations can change pretty quickly, and so looking at the outcome as to what the outcome is going to be, and then, you know, trying to make sure that outcome is a part of your present. If that changes even a lot, drastically, it will probably keep you from feeling okay with like your focus in life, you know. So I think that's kind of important. There's another thing too I wanted to also include in here as well, and this is the last thing it just came to me, and I don't know if I heard this somewhere or if I just came up with this myself, but to promote a better world, you need a better you. And I'm going to leave you with that. There's really not much else there, but as far as like getting to the true self and focusing on that, I think if you have at least these 5, you know, principles in here, and if you want to write it down, you can, but I think if you have at least these 5 principles here, it's going to help you feel like you're on track, you know, because a lot of times people feel like, am I on track? Am I getting off track? You know, this and that. And I think these are some decent principles to go by. If you have any other ideas, leave them in the comments down below. And like I said earlier, you know, definitely smash the like button, hit the subscribe. You know, I'll be doing a lot more of these too. Sometimes it might take me a little time to put together the you know, the video, because some of it has to deal with some thought process here, but this is something I think is actually quite good, you know, and you know, that's the thing. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you had a good day. Hope you had a good time watching it, and I'll see you in the next helpful video. Or if you want to also check out some strategy stuff, you can, with Brigandine and other content I put out as well. You know, that's also pretty cool. So take care, and I'll see you later.